All right. Oh, did it say no? There we go. All right, everyone. It is Monday night. Welcome to Nerdcamp Sports. I'll be moderating this evening. I am Mike. We got Raj here, Coach Will. R&B will be here momentarily. Guys, we got to start off with the question of the week. Scale of 1 to 10. What's everyone's mental at?
I'll say 7, close to an 8. Feeling pretty good. Just a little upset about a few things, but it's nothing too personal. It's more or less the playoffs, and we'll get to that later. But as far as my personal life, I feel pretty good, man. Mental health is doing good, so I'll say a 7.5.
Okay. How about you, Will?
I said it's been a hell of a week or so, week and a half or so. I'm say about a 3.
3?
Uh,
All right.
life been life, man. Still fighting, still here kicking, but life
There
been
you
life,
go.
man.
Absolutely.
That happens. Ah, I'm at like a 5. Just got some, I don't know, some weird stuff going on. Nothing like bad, just weird. So I say I'm at like a 5. Not good, but not bad. But you know what? I seen that Michael Jackson movie over the weekend.
Same here.
And I have decided I will no longer be accepting Prince as an answer to alter the greatest artist of all time. I won't do it. I won't. I usually ask that question on Honest Hour, Prince or Michael Jackson. It's just no. We're not asking. It's just Michael. It's fine. It's over. It's not a debate anymore. Like I had to block a guy over the weekend because he tried to challenge me. It's Michael. Shut up.
Oh my God. I didn't know it was that bad.
Don't cancel. Listen. If you had to understand how much I love Michael Jackson, and look, I'll even show you. Look, I got Pops. He's right here. This is the Billie Jean one. I got Rock With You. I got books, posters, you name it. To get you to understand it fully, how much I love Michael Jackson. If you take my hate for Draymond Green and times that by infinity, that's how much I love Michael Jackson.
I hear you. And you know what? Just knowing how much you really do hate Draymond, almost as much as I do, I get it. But let's get rolling, man. Let's get
put that hate for them, the hate for the Ravens, and my disdain for DT all in one. Y'all know who DT is. I ain't trying to get us canceled, so I ain't gonna say it.
Okay. Got you.
You thought about it. So
yeah, I'm like, wait. For some reason,
DT.
I was thinking DK Metcalf, but okay, never mind.
No, DT. DT.
Got you.
Just think about it. Your brother loves it. So let's get into it. So,
yes.
A lot happened over the course of the week between the NBA playoffs and the NFL draft. But I gotta say, a lot really, really happened in the draft. A lot of teams did some stuff that was good. And I think that a lot of teams got what they needed. But I want to start with a surprise pick. It was a surprise to many people that the Rams drafted Simpson 13th overall in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And to a lot of people, that was a shock. Now, I would say, and I'm going to be short and sweet about it before I pass it off to you gentlemen. It doesn't surprise me. They knew good and well that if they waited, he wouldn't be there potentially on their next pick. However, we know Matthew Stafford still has a lot to give. From what I read, oh, the damn light went out. Mother. There we go. From what I read, the Rams had met with him, said they were going to pick him if he was available. And they also talked to Matthew Stafford about it. So he was aware of it. So he didn't feel like he got blindsided. But at the end of the day, you got to look at what it is. Matthew Stafford's 37 in there. Do I think he could still play? Yes. Do I think he could play at a high level 2-3 more seasons? Yes. But the Rams also understand you got to start molding for the future. And that's where this comes in. This was smart by them to he was there. And if that's the guy you wanted and could see the for the future after Matthew Stafford, yes. And, he can sit there and learn some stuff, and hopefully it'll be a smooth transition for them once that time does come. So I have no issues with it. It did catch me off guard personally, but I have no issues with it. Will, what is your take on the Rams drafting Simpson in the first round?
Not exactly surprised. Obviously, no team is perfect, but it's not exactly like the Rams had any glaring weaknesses. You know what I mean? That had to be addressed immediately. You know what I mean? In regards to their roster, this is a team who really could have been the number one seed in the NFC if not for a fluky 2-point play or whatever, or whatever that was. Like which and again had a chance to win. Had a chance to beat Seattle in the playoffs and advance. Also, we got to keep in mind that this is team fuck them picks. You know what I'm saying? This is a team that has been able to consistently draft well. You know what I mean? Second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round. So I'm sure that they confident in their ability. You know what I mean, to identify talent in the later rounds because they've shown and proved that. So I don't think that's a big concern for them. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, did Sean McVay spend time in Green Bay?
I think he did.
And
Let me double check. I'll double
I'm,
check.
Please, and thank you, because I was trying to talk and look it up at the same time. And the reason I bring that up is because we all know that Green Bay is known for developing, quarterbacks. Like they've had a quarterback, in their back pocket.
No.
Okay.
He was at Tampa Bay, and then he was at Redskins.
And then,
okay. He come from the Shanahan tree.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's good practice to have, a quarterback, a backup that you feel, can step in and win you some games. Stafford is 37 years old, a lot of miles on him, back injuries, and all that stuff. So again, it's not like they had any, glaring holes that they had to address on the defense or on the offense. They solid, front to back for the most part. So I don't, everybody obviously can't do this. You know what I'm saying? Most teams probably can't do this. But for the Rams in their particular situation, might have been a prudent move.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Raj, do you think that by drafting Simpson, does this put pressure on Stafford, or do you think this is really just a succession plan?
I think it's more or less a succession plan, especially when it comes down to knowing that Matthew Stafford is who he is and the age that he is. He's 37. He's not a spring chicken. He's not in his 20s. He's in his late 30s. So I feel like this is a plan for Sean McVay to kind of work Ty Simpson into the system, get him used to, how do you do it out there in LA, and see how it goes. Because you never know. I mean, every year we look at the quarterbacks and we say, okay, this person's going number one, this person's going number whatever. but we don't know how exactly they're going to fit in the system because not every quarterback is necessarily good for the quote unquote system of the team. So I feel like this is a perfect chance for them to kind of test the waters while, Matthew Stafford is still available and still able to put up numbers and to even get him out there to the Super Bowl. So I think it's a great opportunity. I think it's great for them. I knew that Ty Simpson would at least go first round because he's not a great quarterback, but he's a serviceable quarterback. He reminds me a lot of Mac Jones, but I think it was a good plan.
Okay, R&B. Before I ask you a question, mental health, 1 to 10 today. How you feeling?
I'd say probably about a 5.
That's what I was at. About a 5. All right, well, we're here and we're ready to go. So, to you, do you think once Matt Stafford, they move on from Matthew Stafford, do you believe Ty Simpson will be able to come in and make it like, I don't want to say like he never left, but make a nice, smooth transition when that time comes?
Well, it all depends. Let's not forget that they still got Carson Bennett on their team as well, who they drafted year before last. So
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It would be. I think that's the plan with them taking him, in the first round. I would guess that that's the plan, but this is Sean McVay we talking about, like one of the better head coaches in the NFL. This is one of the better ran organizations in the NFL. So I don't think that just because they took him in the first round that it will ultimately guarantee him, the job behind Stafford once Stafford retires or whatever the case may be when that's ultimately consummated. But like I said, I think that that's definitely the plan. But it would be up to him to, come in there and prove and show that he can do what it takes to win the job and keep the job. And that would ultimately mean being able to compete and beat out Carson Bennett as well.
Okay. I can get behind that. I guess we have to see what that brings right now. Stafford's still the dude. He can still put up numbers. He's fresh off an MVP, and they definitely had. What were you saying?
I was just about to say they definitely are setting themselves up for success for the future, though. I tell you that. You got a reigning MVP, and then you got 2 young bucks sitting behind them in the wings, waiting to see which one of them can possibly step up and take over the job. Like that's how you want to do it.
Absolutely. So this
What
is
round
an
did they take
open-ended.
Bennett in?
What'd you say?
What round did the Rams draft Bennett in?
First round.
Yeah.
The Bennett.
Oh no, you said Bennett. I
Bennett.
think Bennett was like maybe 4th, 5th, somewhere around there, maybe even 6th.
They was impressed with what he doing. I don't know if they spend that first round pick on, on Simpson.
It's true.
So, still in the draft category, the Cleveland Browns drafted another quarterback. And I don't know why. I just like, whoever wants to go first, can someone please explain to me why? Why? You got Gabriel, you got Sanders, you got Watson. Why? And they're saying he's going to compete for the starting spot. Why? Why are they drafting quarterbacks?
I go first. I'd be short and simple because it's the Browns and they suck as an organization. Simple as that. Next person.
Short and sweet. which I agree with everything Ryan just said, but also too, I don't think they really believe in anybody in that quarterback room. And again, it's not like they spent first round picks on any of these people. You know what I'm saying? They can't cut Deshaun Watson. You know what I mean? Because that'll just be too much dead money. Just shit. I get, you know what I mean? Roll the dice and see what happened. I guess shit, it can't be no worse than what it's been.
It can't get no better either, though.
I mean, shit, yo, it can. It can't do too much more than get better. Shit.
Right.
Oh man, I mean, I just, it's just the Browns. Like that's all I have. It's just the Browns. You got anything to add, Raj?
Nah, they just got a quarterback fetish. I mean, it's like every year they got to bring in a quarterback or two quarterbacks just to see which one works out. I don't know. I really don't feel like the quarterbacks besides Shador really have a future in Cleveland. I mean, yes, everyone kind of criticized Shador for how he played, but we watched all these quarterbacks play except the new rookie that just came in. We watched how, Watson played. We watched how Dylan Gabriel played. And the best one out of the three between Dylan Gabriel, Watson, and Shador Sanders is Shador. Because even with the contract that they have with Deshaun Watson, he's not the same guy. I don't know what happened. Maybe he needs more massages, but he needs to figure out how to play football again. He needs to feel like he can play the way he did when he was in Texas. So whatever it is they got to do to get him to play like he did in Texas, they need to figure it out. Because if they don't, they're going to keep drafting quarterbacks every single year. That's all I got to say.
Man, Shador was a rookie last year, right? So
yeah,
how many, how many times you see a rookie come into a bad team and ultimately be great off bail? It don't happen all the time. It happens sometimes, but it don't happen all the time. So with that being said, Shador was a rookie last year. Let's not forget, I think it's a lot of clouded memory and revisionist memory when it comes to this brother Shador. Because let's not forget that this dude was supposed to be the second best quarterback in last year's draft, and arguably was supposed to be the second quarterback taken. And they were projecting this dude to be a top 10 pick. And then all of a sudden, once whatever happened on draft day, that caused him to fall all the way down, to the sixth round to the Browns. Now all of a sudden, everybody want to try to pretend that that's where they had him graded in the first place. Come on now, it's bullshit. It's straight bullshit, man. Like, let's not forget that.
Yeah.
How they try to change the narrative and how they tried to make it seem like everything that we seen them grade this dude as and everything that they were saying prior to the draft no longer existed. So I, with that being said, man, this should be Shador's job to lose, in my opinion. He just got to go out and do his thing, but they fucking suck.
I don't exactly agree. Shador was polarizing at best. It's not like he was a consensus first round. He didn't have like a consensus first round grade as a quarterback. He was considered the second best quarterback in a weak quarterback draft. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't have, like, he wasn't like an A. They didn't consider him like an A prospect. You know what I'm saying? He was like a B prospect. But again, quarterbacks move up in the draft because you need a fucking quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So it was people out there who feel the way you do, but it was a lot of people who didn't too. But also, in fairness to Shador, he had a coach that didn't want him and didn't. I don't think that Stefanski really, put him in position to succeed. You know what I'm saying? So that, that definitely didn't help the situation for Shador neither. Nobody thought he was going in the sixth round. Nobody thought he was going in the sixth round. I want to be clear about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying anybody was saying that.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, but look, ultimately we knew what was going to happen to Stefanski. he got fired, and now he's hoping that he can make something magical happen. And I think he went to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with Michael Penix and tuna fish over there. So we'll see what happens with that. So,
by the way, I want to add in the same way, the same way the Cleveland Browns keep adding quarterbacks, Atlanta keep adding running backs. I think they added a running back in this draft.
Wouldn't doubt it.
You know, they just, I don't know. It's just weird.
So the other day I watched an interview. Mike Tomlin sat down on NBC, spoke to them. You know, he's going to be a broadcaster this upcoming season on Sunday Night Football and things their shows with NBC. And he had an interesting comment in there because he finally spoke about why he left Pittsburgh. And he said that he felt like it was time to go. He felt like that they haven't had the success in the playoffs over the years, which is true. And he felt like guys like Boswell, Hayward, and he named one other player, can't remember offhand, deserved the opportunity to have new leadership. And then they went on to ask him the dreading question. Oh, damn it. Hold on. This damn thing. There we go. That didn't help. There we go. Then they went on to ask him the dreading question. If he believes Aaron Rodgers will play this season. And, you know, everyone who's within the Steelers community was like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is going to make his choice quick. We're going to know. I was like, no, we're not. We're going to be waiting and waiting and waiting. And I'm like, here we go again. So the question is, first question is for you, R&B. In your opinion, does Aaron Rodgers play this season?
I'm glad you came to me with this one first because I'm going to beat around the bush for a second here. I no longer subscribe to him holding out and not giving an answer. I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers already know whether Aaron Rodgers is going to play or not next year. I believe that this is NFL-driven media. I believe that this is something that they do in order to keep the presses rolling, to keep, you know what I'm saying, keep themselves in hot topic, something to be discussed, to talk about during the downtime after the draft and so on and so forth with the, you know what I'm saying, OTAs and all that shit, the NBA playoffs. They got to keep themselves in rotation and being talked about. They got to stay relevant. And if, you know what I'm saying, if they can make a story every year of him, you know what I'm saying, holding out to let them know whether or not he going to play next year, if that's going to keep them relevant and keep ratings flowing for them or keep the NFL being talked about, then I believe that they willing to roll with that shit. And so I'm just, you know, I'm of the mindset that I think Pittsburgh already know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. They just not letting it be known yet until the time is right. And that's just how I'm seeing it.
Okay.
I think he will play next year, though. I think next year will be his last year.
Raj, do you agree with the reasons that Mike Tomlin left. Do you believe that? Because I personally don't believe the Steelers would have fired Mike Tomlin under any circumstance. I don't think they would have fired him. But do you think that? Do you agree with his sentiment that that it was time to go?
Yes and no. And the reason I'm saying it like that is because I kind of feel like the writing was on the wall with Mike for a very long time. I think that the mediocre kind of coaching, not saying that he's not a great coach. He's a great coach, but the results ended up being kind of mediocre. You know, you haven't been to the Super Bowl since the Big Ben era. So there's a lot of disappointment. And it's really not his fault because he's been handed a bad hand. And at this point, I feel like they just gave him an opportunity to say, listen, either you can stay with us and we'll let you go, or you can bow out gracefully. And I think he just did what he had to do. That was more about integrity than anything. He just bowed out gracefully, and I'm glad he did. Because to be quite honest, I don't know what the future is for the Steelers at this point because there's so much in the air. There's the whole situation with Aaron Rodgers and who's going to be after him, and there's a lot. So I think it was best for him to kind of step back and just focus on what he needs to and what makes him happy at this point.
Yeah, I mean, even with a lot of people have asked me, like, are you happy with like what happened in the draft? I could say between free agency and the draft, I think they did a lot to make the team better, but to me, it doesn't really add up until I know for sure who's throwing that ball. Whether Aaron Rodgers returns, whether you want to throw Will Howard in there, whether you want to throw in this other guy, Drew something. I forgot his last name. Whether you want to throw him in there, and I already seen when they drafted him, he's 6'5", he moves around, and he has a big arm. Who else was 6 foot, over 6 feet, had a big arm and could move around? Ben
Marcus Russell.
DeMarcus Russell. Lightning is strike twice.
He's right though.
He might have just jinxed y'all.
Oh shit.
That might have been the jinx of the century.
Clip this. Make sure you clip this.
We've seen some 6'5" dudes that can move around with an arm on them, and it ain't always work out.
Nope, exactly.
True.
What was the dude? What was his name in the Peyton Manning draft with the San Diego?
I forgot. Hold on.
Ryan Leaf.
Almost went ahead of Peyton Manning. You know what I mean? Think about that. That was a real thing. That was a real discussion. Just saying.
So Will, with that said, with Tomlin and all that the Steelers have done in this offseason, if you had to say, what would you project they do next season, in your opinion?
We talked about this when they traded for Pittman, and was another move they made. I can't remember who it was. I just felt like they probably so, but I just still don't see a high ceiling for this team, whether Aaron Rodgers comes back or not. I think they in that. I used to say before the 17th game, I used to say 7-9, 8-8, 9-7 is basically the same thing to me, because you know what I mean. Every team got some games here and there that could have went either way, So now it's more like 8-9, 9-8, like what I mean. It's basically the same thing to me, and I think they in that general range. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't surprise me if they won 10 games. I don't see too much more than that. They make the playoffs, I see another early exit. You know what I'm saying? They definitely can't win the division at 9-8 again next year. I don't see that happening again. So and again, that's the thing too. Like, even with the games that Lamar missed last year, even with Joe Burrow being hurt last year and everything that Cincinnati was dealing with, and Cleveland doing Cleveland shit like they always do, they still, you know what I mean, only managed to go 9-8 in essentially a weak ass division last year. You know, and they're gonna have the division winner schedule next year. So
Right.
I feel like they in that, you know, and that weird 9-8, 8-9 ish. You know what I'm saying? You know, that weird kind of middle ground in the NFL. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're gonna see what happens with that. You know,
And I think
but
they'll stay there until they find their quarterback. Like, I'll give Mike Tomlin credit. I know he ain't won a playoff game in a while, but he kept them competitive. When did Ben retire? How long Ben been retired? 7 years, 6 years, something like that. Not longer.
I think he got to be coming up for his eligibility for Hall of Fame.
It's been like 4 or 5
yeah.
years.
Come on, man. Y'all
So about 5 years. About 5 years. Well, I mean, okay, let me correct myself because Ben last 2 years he was ass. So, you know that's what I'm saying. Like Tomlin still kept them competitive. You know, he was like it is what it is. You know,
2022 he retired.
Okay.
Damn.
2022, yeah. Yep. So he's right. Well, you need 5 years for eligibility, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's coming. It's coming.
So he'll be in next year's class. He'll be up for eligibility next year.
Absolutely. So there is a little more NFL, but we got to get to the meat of this, and we got to talk about the playoffs. And we're gonna start with Raj. We going right for it.
Oh,
Let
man.
me hear your excuse why the greatest center in the world, the greatest center of all time, is down 3-1 right now. I want to hear every excuse you got on why Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets are down 3-1 right now.
Okay. You got to understand something.
Here we go.
Not the greatest center of all time. I understand that.
No, hold on. Wait a second. We're not going to do that. Let me finish my statement. Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. I was just waiting. You know.
Listen, you got Nikola Jokic, you got the Joker, and then you got Nikola Soul shit, right? Those are 3 different people. What we are witnessing is Nikola Soul shit. That dude is doing everything possible but winning the game. And I'm saying that because he don't got no support. When I say that
I knew
Joker
you was gonna go there. I knew you was gonna go there.
When I say that the Joker is the greatest center to ever play the game, I meant that because that's the Joker. That's the Joker, right? But Nikola Jokic is who we witnessed on the court. But this playoff series is Nikola Soul shit. He's not doing nothing. He's not doing anything because he don't got no help. So he quit on the team. Right now, Aaron Gordon is playing with one leg. Right now, Jamal Murray got factory reset. Right now, there's
Jamal Murray averaging 25 in the series.
Help me. That's what Nikola Jokic is screaming. Help me. I can only drop triple doubles every game. Y'all got to do something else too. We witnessing it right now as we speak with the Detroit Pistons and the Orlando Magic. When you ain't got a team, bro, it's hard to win a game in the playoffs. You need a whole team. You can't just go out there and drop 40, 15, and 12. No, that doesn't work in a playoff series. If you don't have a team and you don't have a bench that could defend and you don't got people that can go out there and put up buckets and you don't got specialists that can go out there and do what they got to do, like grab rebounds, hit threes, set picks, then you're not going to win. It's just that simple. So I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to tell you what we are witnessing is not the Joker. We are witnessing Nikola Soul shit. That's what he is right now. And guess what? Next game, they're going to win. I don't have to win the series, but I do got to win in the next game. And that's when you're going to witness your Joker.
You sound like you're making excuses to me.
It's facts. It's facts.
Nah.
It's
Sound like
facts.
you're making excuses. Jamal Murray been balling. Now I give you Aaron Gordon is hobbled. He's hurt. He's out there playing hurt.
What
I give you
way?
that much. But you know where I'm not gonna give Joker the excuses at? Where I've never given him the excuse at. You want to say help me, help me? How about your fat ass help yourself play some defense for a change? Play some goddamn defense. That's why I don't want to hear nothing about no greatest center of all time when you don't even play fucking defense. Fuck your triple doubles when you have no type of paint presence on the defensive side of the ball. I don't give a damn about your triple doubles and your rebounds and assists when you allowing these motherfuckers to score in the paint at will. You got Rudy Gobert out here throwing no look passes, running Draymond Green pick and roll screens on your ass and shit. Like, where's some defense at from this motherfucker that you say is the greatest center of all time? Where is it at? Where is it at?
Well, first off, he's on Ozempic. I don't know if you guys looked at him recently, but he lost like 20 pounds. So he ain't got that weight that he had to push people around like he used to.
Man, I say if Chicago ain't already fired their GM for giving Patrick Williams that big ass deal, doubling down, and then letting Dosunmu go to Minnesota because that's been their calling savior in this series so far. Then if I don't understand what's going on that he still got a job, because if I'm the owner of Chicago and I'm sitting up watching this Minnesota series right now, I'm calling him to my office. What happened that you gave Patrick Williams this big deal and we traded this guy here? That's saving Minnesota's ass right now. But to get back on topic, he wasn't just stroking it from deep, huh?
They GM and their president got fired. Them niggas cleared out the front office, bro.
Okay, cool.
And the coach left.
Yeah, well, Billy Donovan resigned. They tried to get him to stay, but he didn't want to stay.
No, I don't blame him.
I don't either.
But Dosunmu, he wasn't just stroking from deep. They was killing these cats in the paint. He was getting to the paint at will. At will. And your greatest center all time wasn't doing shit. He didn't put up no. You know when he finally started to put up some type of resistance? At the end of the game, after old boy put that garbage time layup in, and then he wanted to get tough.
Say that.
That's when he finally decided to get tough and try to put up some type of resistance. When he didn't like the fact that they put up a garbage time layup and an ass whooping. Man, fuck Nikola Jokic and the boat he rode in on, man. Nobody give a fuck about them. I'm glad they about to get their ass popped. The only thing I feel sorry for Minnesota, they lost DiVincenzo. He gone, and
Anthony Edwards is down.
From Anthony Edwards is down, so that might be Denver's saving grace. But it's gonna be hard to win 3 straight if you gonna continue to let that boy Damasayu, or however the fuck you say it, get to the paint at will and score the way he been scoring. I mean, because I'm looking at this paint defense that Orlando playing right now on my Pistons, and my God, shit, that's how you play defense in the paint. Denver ain't doing that, man. They getting exposed. That's what's happening.
Go ahead, Will. What's your thoughts on the Nuggets being in trouble?
Few things. Yeah, Jamal Murray is averaging 26 a game in a series, but he is only shooting 37% for the series, 26 from 3. So, like, he ain't exactly efficient. He scoring, but he ain't shooting the ball real efficient. He missing a lot of shots. Aaron Gordon being hurt is a big deal for Denver, particularly for Jokic. Like, Aaron Gordon gets so many easy buckets just off of, Jokic getting doubled in the post, or, taking big man off the dribble easy, oops around the paint, shit like that. Guard 1 through 5, like, he's a big deal for them. He's they third best player, but as important as anybody else on that team to what they do. Um, Tim Hardaway not shooting the ball well. Like as a team, they not shooting the ball well. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just Joker. He is Joker. So and he shooting under 40% for the series. Like that's just fucking unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give some credit to Rudy Gobert. Like Rudy Gobert is out there playing his ass. It ain't like
Facts.
Joker is getting whatever he want and he just missing the shots. Like Rudy Gobert is out there making that motherfucker work. You know what I mean? So also too though, I'll say this. This was a 50-50 series to me to begin with because we've seen Minnesota beat them. Like and this is like a rivalry right now. You know what I mean? We don't get it a whole lot anymore because of all the turnover on the teams. But they done played 3 years in a row in the playoffs with what I mean, a lot of the same, players, what I mean, on both teams. Like this is a real rivalry, so I wouldn't have never thought it was gonna be, 3-1. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, but I'm not surprised that Minnesota is giving them hell.
Yeah, facts.
Well, I would also like to add to that Minnesota, we sit up here and they end up in 6, but them dudes go out there and they compete on both sides of the ball, and that's the big thing. Like they go out there and they block shots and contest shots. Excuse me. And the biggest thing is doing all the stuff that don't necessarily show up on a stat sheet.
7 turnovers in the first quarter.
I think Denver has high expectations. What year did they win the title? I don't remember what year it was. 20 what?
I think it was
23.
Was it 23 they won? So you're looking at this, right? And and me, once again, I've said this about other teams.
Yeah, 23.
Specifically the Bucks. To me, this may be a little bit of a crazy take, but minus the fact that they can get to the playoffs, they are kind of doing the same thing the Bucks are doing in the West. They haven't really made many changes to their team. Like they're running it back with the same team. And the team is still successful, but they're missing something else that's help them get back to where they were. They want to get back to those Western Conference finals and the finals and ultimately win a championship. So something's missing and a change needs to be made. I mean,
don't forget though that they won that championship. Ownership didn't want for the luxury tax, and a lot of their key pieces, Bruce Brown,
Caldwell Pope,
Kentavious Caldwell Pope, like like they they didn't really get rid of starters per se, but they got rid of. I think Caldwell Pope did that team, didn't he?
What'd you say?
I think Caldwell Pope did start on that team, but they got rid of a lot of key pieces and tried to retool on the fly. That's why was it Jelani McCoy that was their general manager, and that's him and Mike Malone was beefing because Jelani McCoy didn't want to resign them people, and he wanted him to play, the guys that they had drafted or whatever, without really knowing whether they was going to be able to, step in.
Yeah,
it's true.
Also, when they got rid of their coach, the whole culture changed. Like everything changed, and you got to remember, we're talking about 3 years, between them winning the championship and now. Like a lot changed in those 3 years. So I mean, in a joking way, I'm making excuses, but in real life, like Jokic really don't got no help. Let's keep it a stat.
I don't gonna say he ain't got no help.
I'm not gonna go that far, bro.
Nah, him included.
He ain't got no help.
And if he's shooting under 40%, then they gonna need Jamal Murray to put up 40 a night. You know what I'm saying? Like If he the best, according to you, if he the best player on the planet, all of it starts with him. Everything starts with him. Again, I'm not saying his teammates helping him out to the best of their ability right now, but it ain't like he out there cooking. You know what I'm saying? And trying to drag everybody else along. They all playing like shit right now.
Yeah, no, they are.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see.
And they
We'll see
not
what
playing
happens.
no defense.
That's what it's really about, defense at the end of the day.
And before we wrap this up, look, man, I know everybody might not agree with me on this, but this end of the game is over. Don't lay the ball. Like, man, get the fuck over it. Like,
Nah,
man,
yeah, I
get
hate that.
the f- over it. Don't tell me it ain't professional and all this other shit, man. Like, get the fuck over it. You don't want me to score? Stop me from scoring.
Exactly.
Get your ass down.
I agree.
Play some defense.
Hell yeah. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see if they can pull something together. Because, like R&B said, without Edwards and without DiVincenzo, it might be an opening for them. Ain't gonna be easy, but they might be able to make a run and surprise us. So next, y'all know we gotta talk about him. I don't even want to talk about his team. We just gonna talk about him. Kevin Durant. KD. I read right before we came on the show, he gonna be out a few weeks. Potentially. The Lakers are up 3-1. Rockets came out and they won one last night. When I fell asleep, they were up by 22 or something like that on the Lakers. But Raj, I'm gonna let you go first on your thoughts on Kevin Durant as it is constructed right now.
Yeah, KD is not only going to be out for a couple of weeks, he's going to be out for the rest of the season. Let's keep it stacked. He's not coming back to the Houston Rockets. He ruined his team when he was talking on Twitter, and he got caught. This team is fractured, and I hate the fact that they broke up this team for Kevin Durant. I hate the fact they got rid of Jalen Green, and they got rid of Dylan Brooks. I hate the fact that they blew up this young core because I love that team. That team to me was fun. But now with KD, I honestly believe that he's probably going to try to join the Golden State Warriors. He's probably going to try to join the Golden State Warriors. He's probably going to go back to Curry and say, yo, let's work out a deal. Get Jimmy Butler up out of here, and I'll be the guy to get you to the championship because this ain't working. This ain't working. And I honestly believe that Kevin Durant is a very bitter, unhappy person in life. And it's just sad because he's one of the most talented bigs I've ever seen in my life. But he just don't really love anything. And it's sad. It's really sad. So we'll see what happens, but it's a wrap. 3-1.
You say that like you know him personally.
Well, I mean, from a person's words of what they say, it tells a lot of how they really feel. If you saw did you see his messages about his teammates and how he called his coach, Adolf and stuff like that?
Yeah, I heard about that shit.
Yeah, he's bitter. That's a bitter person. And I mean, the fact that he got caught during the All-Star break, I don't know him personally, but from what he wrote, he's very bitter, and he needs to like really, really, really get some help if that's the case. If he really wrote that, because there's a lot of stuff that he's got to fix before he goes to another team.
I kind of felt like Ime and him wasn't the best fit as a coach and superstar type player anyway, because Ime is very a hard nosed. You know what I'm saying? He's very hard nosed. You know what I'm saying? I don't deem that to be the type of coach that's necessarily for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant don't strike me as the type of guy that's gonna, that can deal with a hard nosed, hard coach. He more so needs somebody that's gonna kind of, stroke his ego, tell him he right and agree with him. That's how he strike me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but as far as the whole thing with the Rockets, it's sad to see see him go down because I definitely don't think this series looks the way that it looks if he's healthy and playing. But I gotta give credit to LeBron, man. LeBron doing this thing. He's got these boys playing. He got these shooters around him shooting. You know what I'm saying, out there throwing dime alley-oops to his son. I gotta give credit where it's due. He definitely is turned it on without Austin Reeves and Luka on the floor. And there's rumors that Austin Reeves could potentially play the next game. That's what they were saying at the end of the last game. So, you know, so we'll see how that plays out. But they definitely had rumored that it was a possibility that, excuse me, that he'd be able to play in the next play. What's that? Game 5 should be coming up. Playing Game 5 possibly. So
5, yep.
we'll see. You know how things go with that. But I'm gonna just be real. I can't really. I agree with a lot of your sentiments, Raj, but I can't really put this on KD with him being hurt. You know what I'm saying? If he was playing and they were still down 3-1, then yeah, I'm pretty sure I would be able to find somewhere to put some blame on him. But with him being out with injury and them being down 3-1, I can't really say, well, this is, KD is the cause of this and all of that. But what I will say is that the players that are playing, Sengun need to step up because I do feel like even without Kevin Durant, with the talent that Houston has, they shouldn't be down 3-1 to the Lakers with the talent that they have versus what the Lakers are working with. Ime Udoka is being completely outcoached by JJ Redick right now, and Houston just don't have nobody stepping up. Sengun is he playing solid, but he making some dumbass plays. He taking some dumbass shots at times, and it's just it just don't look good at times. So this whole Rockets thing, that's where I can kind of agree with you a little bit. It is kind of looking like, damn, y'all broke up a young good core to bring in KD, and it's just not looking. It's just not looking like it's panning out because of injury. So
Yeah.
Well, one thing I want to say, Kevin Durant has been trying to find that championship since leaving Golden State, because there's always that if he never went there, he probably wouldn't have a championship. That could be true. We'll never know. And now you've gone and essentially have forced or potentially could force a third team since leaving there into a rebuild. I mean, you went to Brooklyn, you got what you wanted there, that didn't work. Then you went to Phoenix, and to me, I knew that wasn't going to work because you had him, Booker, and what's his name, Beal, right?
Bradley Beal with another team with no point guard.
Right, and I'm like, all three of those players, essentially, to me, when I watched them play, kind of do the same thing. So, there was really no benefit to it there. And now you go to Houston. This was supposed to, and we talked about it in the beginning of the season, this was supposed to be KD's time to prove you're the dude. You can do it. We understood that Fred VanVleet wasn't going to play this season. But, Sengun is one pretty good player, one hell of a player, I would think. He could get some stuff done. They have other pieces on there that could help, and he's not there. I don't. What did he hurt? I don't even know.
He tore his ACL.
Kevin Durant tore his ACL.
Oh, I thought you was talking about VanVleet. I think Kevin Durant dealing with some type of knee injury, something with his knee.
I know, the knee at first when he missed game 1, then when he played game 2, they said it was an ankle sprain, but when they did the MRI, they said it's a bone bruise.
Damn.
Yeah, so when I look at this, Like I just don't see him being able to get that eluded championship that he's looking for. And him and Kawhi Leonard are two of those guys who've been looking for that extra championship, the third championship, I should say, because they're both looking to get their third. But as for the Rockets, he kind of, Rogers' video says he's given up on them. Like I agree to an extent, but then I don't because he's still on the team. I don't believe they trade him next season. But something. Hopefully, they. I think they should run it back, and hopefully they figure something out. But
I mean, you ain't got no choice to at this point, right? Wouldn't y'all agree? You gave up two young stars, and you know what I'm saying, one being an over 20-point average guy, Jalen Green, which they didn't really believe in, but he was still an over 20-point average guy. You get and picks for Kevin Durant. It would be a tremendous failure to move off of him this fast, unless you about to get a house for him. It would be a tremendous failure to move off of him this fast after what you gave up. So, in my opinion, I think you ain't got no choice but to try to run it back another year with hopefully a healthy Van Vliet.
Okay, what do you got to add into there, Will, on this topic?
I think y'all covered pretty much everything I was gonna say.
Okay. So I'm gonna get to it, and Will, you can go first. Do you believe that this series that Detroit is in against the Magic is theirs to lose?
I mean, when you're the number one seed playing the 8 seed, it's always supposed to be yours to lose in theory.
True.
I ain't giving up on them yet. I think much like the Houston team, like this is really both of these teams' second foray into the playoffs, and they both lost in the first round last year. Detroit probably should have won that series. They got robbed 2 games. But difference is again, like Detroit has Cade. Houston, y'all touched on it. Fred VanVleet. I feel like that was, you know what I mean. I don't want to say a death sentence for them, but not having him all season, I always knew that was going to be a big deal come playoff time. But not having KD, not having that, you know what I mean, like that go-to guy. Detroit got their go-to guy. It's just that all the other guys are in that way. And it's different in the playoffs. So even when y'all talk about like Şengün, like Şengün's never been the focal point of somebody's defense, you know what I mean, in the playoffs. And he don't have, the Lakers have a LeBron, you know what I mean, who been doing that shit his whole life.
Right.
Still, I mean, Cade is balling. Cade is doing what Cade do. He just need Durant to step up. He need Duncan to hit some shots. He needs another bucket getter out there, really, what he needs, but we can't go get
CJ fucking McCollum.
You had that conversation back then. Like I felt like, and you felt like, Ryan, that McCollum would have been a great fit with this team, and Atlanta really got him for little or nothing. You know, like, and I mean, I know they traded Trey, but you know what I mean. Trey didn't have a whole lot of trade value at the time he got traded or whatever. So relatively speaking, but I feel like Orlando is kind of, because of injuries and other things, I feel like they kind of, forming it into the team that most of us thought they were going to kind of be most of this season. A team that was going to be competitive in the East. I don't think they are your typical 8 seed. You know what I'm saying? And maybe, Detroit had to get punched in the face a couple times. But I'm
real quick. I hit me and Raj argued about this last week, and I hit that very point. So just evaluate on that for me real quick, because I was trying to explain this to him. This Orlando team, without all the injuries, they definitely, I think, would have been a top 5 team in the East.
I agree. In that, in that range, like, I say this, it's always easy to, speak on hypotheticals or whatever, because I don't think we expected Atlanta, you know what I mean, to improve the way they did, especially with, everything that was going on with Trey. Like, but again, I feel like they was supposed to be, I would say somewhere between 4 and 6. I'll say this: a non-playing team. I think we all kind of thought they was at the very least going to be a non-playing team. You know what I mean? They was going to have a playoff spot, and they weren't going to be playing in that fucking playing tournament. So I don't think they a typical, 8 seed. And I think, like I say, Detroit learning that the hard way. I still think that they can win the series. I just think that the role players, everybody else is going to have to step up, man. But I also think that this is showing that, Trajan Langdon this offseason, he gonna have to find, I don't want to say a second guy per se, like Duran, can't be a second guy or grow into that. But another guy that can go out, get you buckets, and handle your offense a little bit. Like a CJ McCollum. And preferably somebody that's more of a veteran.
Yeah.
Somebody, that's got some playoff. Not they ain't got to necessarily be a champion, but somebody that got some playoff experience under their belt, and we done seen them, show up and prove that they can get it done. Come playoff time. Again, it don't necessarily have to be somebody that's coming to be the second best player per se, but that guy that can be that second go-to scorer. Because as much as I love Doran, I don't think he's necessary. You can't just dump him in the rock and expect him to get you a bucket like that. That ain't really it.
That ain't his
So,
game.
but yeah, that's I don't think it's over for them. I think that they've shown us, and again, the playoffs is different than the regular season, but I think they've shown us all season long that they're resilient. You know what I mean? They're gonna fight. When Clay had to collapse lung, you know what I mean? Everybody thought they was gonna fall off, and they still balled out. When the suspensions for the fight, people thought they was gonna fall off. They still balled out. People been stepping up and stepping in all season. They had a couple bad games, but I think they're gonna turn it around and figure it out. But it got to start on the defensive end too, though. I'll say that they getting punked on offense and playing like punks on defense. They gotta get back to that identity.
They got to stop turning the ball over too, because the turnovers have been the tail of the game throughout this series, if you ask me. And for us to be up right now at the end of the first quarter, I think we just had 9 turnovers in the first quarter. I gotta take it because we started out, Orlando was beating our ass. If y'all ain't see me over here kind of flailing and looking all mad and shit, we came out with 9 turnovers in the first quarter and getting our ass whooped, and somehow they managed to climb themselves back into it and take the lead. You know what I'm saying? Up 3 with 20 seconds left in the first quarter. Orlando is taking some horrible shots right now. They just hoisting a bunch of Boston Celtic like threes and just bricking them, and it's crazy. You must be watching it, Raj, because I see you shaking.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
I mean, they are hoisting these bitches. It's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll take it. If that's what y'all gonna do, I'll take it.
R&B, do you believe Detroit has what it takes to win it all this year?
No, we are definitely short of these first few games in this series is a lot showing of what kind of like what Will was just talking about. They need that second bucket getter. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, don't necessarily have to be a superstar or nothing like that, but somebody that can just go get their own bucket. Like we referenced somebody like a McCullum or something like that Atlanta went out and got, and we see how that helped continue to turn the tide, because the tide was already turning for Atlanta when with Jalen Johnson turning out to be, everything that they thought he was when they drafted him. You know what I'm saying? But just going to get McCullum to help complete that. is was hella. But I want to ask y'all a question. Depending on how everything play out in the playoffs, how would y'all feel about Kevin Durant being in Detroit? More so with I'm a sidebar this one to add on for Will, but do you think he would ruin the Pistons or help the Pistons?
He's ruined every other team he's been on.
I
Let's be honest. Let's be honest, right? So like you ruined OKC for quite a while when you left up until recently, right? Golden State, you didn't ruin, except them because they won a championship.
He didn't have to be the number one guy in Golden State, and he wouldn't have to be the number one guy in Detroit because it's already Cade, Town, and team.
I mean, in theory, he didn't. If that's in theory, he didn't have to be the number one guy. OKC, but he was, and even in Golden State, it was Steph team, but he was the best player on that team, and he got 2 Finals MVPs. You know what I'm saying? He was the best player on the floor by far in both of those series. Not Steph, not Bron. So, and, nah, look, he ain't ruined OKC, man. OKC, they figured it out. You know what I mean? Look, he left as a free agent, and if they didn't have a plan for that, that was their fucking fault. Because you supposed to plan for that kind of shit. OKC, he put OKC on the map, bro. Like him and Russ, because they didn't exist until his second year in the league. Golden State came and got him when they lost to Bron and they gave up that 3-1 lead. They came and got him. You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn again. If the nigga had a half a foot shoe size smaller, they beat the Bucks. And nobody could have planned for fucking COVID and Kyrie and all of that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Kyrie and James Harden destroyed Brooklyn, not Kevin Durant. In Phoenix, the owner, Ishbia, just fucked that situation up because he forced them to trade for Bradley Beal when everybody in the fucking world knew that Bradley Beal was not only damaged goods, but he was not the point guard that they needed for that team. Like, KD show up and play ball. You know what I'm saying? That's what KD do. KD show up and hoop. He gonna give 27, 28 a night on damn near 50, 40, 90 splits. You know what I'm saying? If you want KD to be like your locker room leader, nah, that ain't him. You know what I'm saying? But again, if you signing him to a max contract, you gotta understand that shit. You know what I mean? You got to understand, no difference than any other business that these owners find themselves operating in. You get all the details. You don't go in blind before you make $100 million investments. So, like, KD just show up and ball. Like, that's what KD do.
Like you always say, two things can be true at the same. Two things can be true at the same time, and and I mean. Hold on, like OKC, he left there. Harden left there, right? Or whatever. They didn't sign him. They made a trade for Paul George.
I highly doubt KD ever leave OKC because I'm fairly certain they win a championship with James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Russell Westbrook. But they decided to pay fucking Serge Ibaka instead of paying James Harden. That was organization. That was organizational malfeasance.
But the same organization traded Paul George away and has now is looking at a chance to be a dynasty at some point. So realistically, they rebounded is what it has to do from it.
I agree.
They rebounded. That's the point. They rebounded. They were able to recover. Golden State. Yeah, you're right to an extent, but he didn't ruin them because they won another championship after he left. Essentially, yeah, they have traded for Bradley Beal. No, but let's be honest. Him and Devin Booker kind of play the same game. It was never going to work. The Brooklyn thing. the Brooklyn thing, they tried to overload in Brooklyn. They tried to overload with this, but he wanted Kyrie there. Like, let's not leave that out. He wanted Kyrie there. He pushed for that.
He wanted James Harden there, you mean?
But it's a difference. Think of the difference in these organizations. And again, that was my whole point. Golden State rebounded. They pivoted. OKC rebounded, pivoted. You know what I'm saying? They got fucking they held motherfucking the Clippers up for what, 5 first round picks? You know what I'm saying? They rebounded because they're an excellently run organization. The Brooklyn Nets have not proved to be a very well run organization in my lifetime. The only time they've really truly been competitive in my lifetime, other than that brief KD, Kyrie, James Harden era, was when they traded for J Kidd, and they had about a good solid 4 year run of being competitive. Most of my life, motherfuckers ain't never been competitive, ain't never been well run. You got to remember, and I'm not saying it's the same ownership or the same front office. Don't get me wrong, but it's the same team that traded all them fucking picks to Boston for old ass busted knee KG. You know what I'm saying? And Paul Pierce on his, I ain't gonna say on his last legs, but you know what I mean. Kind of transitioning out of being all-star caliber. Like
they were at the tail end of their career.
Said the Phoenix thing, that was the ownership. Like, this is what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm saying. The good organizations, they figured that shit out. You know what I'm saying? In spite of KD leaving, which that's their fucking job. Like, you know, whether he retire or they trade somebody or whatever, their job is to figure it out moving forward. These suck ass organizations, they didn't figure it out. Brooklyn didn't have to sign Kyrie. They could have said, no, we don't want that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
But the point is they didn't. That's the point. They didn't.
Right.
They did that so he would go there. That's the point.
Hey, like I say,
wrap it around.
Brooklyn was a half a shoe shot for the finals, bro. And that turned into Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? Championship.
But now, to go back to the original question, do I think it depends? What do you have to give up to get him there? That's number one. And number two, you know, a lot of times things like that, you have to give up what makes your team what it is to get his services. And by the time he's there, the team's not the same. If you're telling me you got to drain the whole team and it's going to be him, Cade, and like your center, Duran, a lot of those pieces are the glue to the team and what made them go one. So I won't say he. I
don't necessarily agree after this season that KD is at this point in his career still a team drainer.
Right. I never did get to answer your question, Ryan. Yesterday's price is not today's price, and this is the opposite way that Fat Joe meant it when he said it. KD's value is going down, not only, you know what I mean, because of these situations and people trying to blame him now, but he's 37 years old. You know what I'm saying? And we all know that at this point, he's not in any more 82 game seasons, and he probably still got another really good 2-3 years in him. But what Phoenix didn't get, the same thing. Well, Houston didn't get what Phoenix got. Phoenix had to give up Mikal Bridges, 3 or 4 picks. Like, every time he's gotten traded these last few times, the trade package, the value of the deal that the team got has decreased. Nobody's trading 3, 4, 5 first round picks and a bunch of talent for KD at this point. And with these injuries now in the playoffs, like, again, his value is continuing to decrease when you're talking about trading anything for him. So I don't think we would have to blow up the team. And in theory, I would like him on the team. It would depend on what we would have to give up. I'm not giving up no 2, 3, 4 first round picks. And his contract is, you know what I mean, so big, it will prevent us from adding to the team. In theory, I would like it. I don't know if that's a move I would make right now. And I don't know if KD trying to come to Detroit anyway. I know him and Cade, you know what I mean, got a relationship or whatever, but I don't know. In theory, it sounds good, but depending on what we would have to give up, you know what I'm saying? Shit, they're gonna be asking for Duran. and I'm not giving up Doran for KD.
Nah,
I say just
that'd be
about
crazy.
just about anybody else. I ain't gonna lie. I correct myself. Just about anybody else on that roster, I give up because almost all the rest of those guys are replaceable. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna correct myself.
What about you, Rod?
What about you? I was about to say, Rod, you get
Yeah,
in there.
I wouldn't blow up this team yet. I would try to find some type of young star to put next to Cade. And I'm saying that because KD, even though we know he's a phenomenal scorer, he's a phenomenal athlete, but he's 37. He's 37, and this is going to be at least 2 years. You know, it's going to be at least a 2-year project where they got to fight to prove that they can beat Boston. They got to fight and prove that they can beat teams like, the upcoming teams that's coming up. You know, like the Magic or the Hornets. Those type of teams. Like they gotta fight for the next one or two seasons after this. You know what I'm saying? It's not something where you just plug and play KD and all of a sudden end up in the Eastern Conference Finals and go into the finals. It doesn't work like that because you're gonna have to take a lot of the assets away too. But sidebar, if I'm the GM, I'm going to get on the phone and listen to the deals for Jalen Duren. I know that sounds bad, but hear me out. Look at what's happening during his playoffs. He's being exposed. He's great during the regular season, but during the playoffs, there's a lot of deficiencies. So I would at least entertain something for that while his value is still high. And then also I'll find a way to get some draft capital in there to get a top scorer and move Tobias Harris as well, while his stocks is still high. Because you got to think about it. Tobias Harris is what, 30-something years old? I don't know how old
Tobias
he is. I don't have my phone.
is only on a 1-year deal though.
Yeah, I think Tobias like
never
32,
mind.
32.
Yeah, never mind. I was going to say, if
Coming
you have
through
him on a
with the
2-year
Yams.
deal, I would move
No.
Tobias. I would move Jalen Duren for a star. That's how I would do it and throw in a draft pick for a star. I don't know who, but I will find somebody that can play alongside with Cade while he still is in his prime, and they can be there for the next 3 seasons at least.
Tobias Harris is 33, by the way.
Yeah. Because that's all you're going to get. I mean, in my opinion, he's like Paul George right now of the Pistons. You know, you're going to have some flashes, but you're not going to see him consistently score in the playoffs 20 points a night. It's not happening. And they need that guy. They need that guy.
You talk about Doran
plus
playoffs?
No. Tobias Harris scoring 20 a night. I'm saying they need that score that's by him. Like I feel like Duran's a lot like Bam Adebayo a lot. Like he's got a lot of ability to get buckets around the basket. But when it comes down for him to create his own shot, he just don't got it.
Bam can shoot and Bam can create his own shot. That's the difference. I kind of get the comparison you going for, but I think that's where the separation come though. Like I said, Bam can shoot and he can go get his own shot off the dribble. Duran, that's not really his strength, and he can't shoot.
Yeah,
Bam is a pretty good passer too.
Yeah, Bam is a pretty good passer. Duran pretty solid too as a passer, as a big man.
I've got it in a trade machine right now, but it would be damn near impossible for them to trade for KD, bro. Like
they'll find a way. If they want him, they'll get him. But me personally, I wouldn't go get him.
No, I'm talking about just money wise, like making a trade work.
Oh, okay.
Like saying KD making 55 million. You know what I'm saying? So even just trying to make the money work, like it would have to be like Duncan Robinson, Isaiah Stewart, Karis LeVert.
Nah, that's way too much.
And I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Like just to even get close to, you know what I mean, making the money work.
Way too much.
We see what Detroit can do, continuing this series and so forth. But I want to ask everyone a question. Moving along here, should people be looking? And Raj, I want you to go first on this one.
All right.
Should people be looking more at the Boston Celtics as a threat to win the championship?
As much as I hate to say it, I would say yes. And I hate Boston. I hate Boston. I hate everything about Boston. But I know that they have so much depth within their team. Like watching Peyton Pritchard go off last night really made me sick to my stomach. I'm like, this dude will be a first option on the Brooklyn Nets. This dude will be a first option on a team like, the Sacramento Kings. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just crazy how they find these creative players like Baylor Scheinman. Who the hell's a Baylor Scheinman? I've never seen him. I watch every college basketball game that's nationally televised. I've never seen this dude play basketball, except when he played on this Boston team. You got dudes like
He sounded like somebody Vince McMahon tried to get over in the post Hogan era.
Exactly.
Baylor Simon.
These dudes are creative players and they're splashing threes. I'm like, yo, who are these dudes? They
That's
got
what you call good scouting and good development. Which we all know Boston has been creme de la creme for years now.
The best. And that's why I can't stand them, because they will find a second round pick and turn them into one of the best second round picks in NBA history. And it makes me mad because I'm like, damn, no other team see this? I mean, and last, what I'm going to say to kind of, put a bow on it. Every single day that Jason Tatum plays, he gets better and better. So I feel like we got to look at it like this. If he keeps playing the way he's playing, we are going to see Boston become a dynasty in the next 2 seasons, because they're all figuring it out. No one projected Jaylen Brown to be the way he is today. He was in the MVP conversation for a little bit. And then there's other pieces out there that they got. So they're definitely contenders.
Here, man.
Yeah, there's
continue on, man. I'm watching the game. This dude pissing me off. What you say? That ain't too much for KD. As I'm watching this nigga Thompson airball layups. Trade his ass. I don't like him anyway.
You trade Thomas for real? Thompson?
Yes. Because I like the upside of what's the other one we just drafted last year? Fuck. What's the other young buck we drafted last year, Will? That's a defender as well.
Not Sasser.
No, not Sasser.
Damn.
He was the first round pick last year.
Yeah.
From the G League Elite, I think. Damn, I can't catch his name right now, but I like his upside more anyway. Thompson get on my nerves because his offensive game is just not developing, man. It's not developing. He's a good defender. His offensive game is not there. This dude be out here airballing layups, man.
That's fair. I guess you're right when it comes down to that.
He struggled to get 10 points.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it's gonna make it difficult for sure. But what about you, Will? What's your thoughts on Boston so far? Do they have a shot at winning the whole thing?
I don't know if I would take them. It wouldn't surprise me if they made the finals. I'll say that. But I see them beating the OKC Don't see them beating Spurs. Um, because I know they find talent. I know they keep just like y'all was just talking about. They just keep seemingly finding people out of fucking nowhere that we ain't never heard of. But we also ain't seen these people really operate. You know what I mean? Second round, third round, fourth. Because the further along in the playoffs you go, you know what I mean. The tougher the situations get. We all know that Jalen Brown is proven. You know what I mean? We know who the proven people are. Jason Tatum, we know is proven. We done seen Pritchard produce, you know what I mean, on the championship team. But the rest of that roster, like, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna need them to show up too. So that would be my concern with them. Um, and like Tatum moving forward. Because he obviously he's not playing good. He had some great games, he had some, not so great games. He's still kind of working his way back. You know what I mean? He still got some inconsistencies right now. So it wouldn't surprise me if they come out of the East. I want to see them in the championship.
Okay. Okay. What about you, R&B? Well, what are your thoughts on Boston right now?
Is that I want some cheddar. But I mean, like I said, the creme de la creme when it comes to finding talent and developing it. Um, I didn't truly believe in Tatum coming back, being an impact for them because of him being out with the type of injury that he was out on. I felt like it was going to take him time to rev up. He's proved me wrong. He's looked a lot better than I thought he would. So I personally, I have to say, I don't see them as the favorite to win the championship. I still think that that goes OKC 1, San Antonio 2. But I definitely would have to probably say that Boston might be that third team when it comes to favorites. They
I
probably that
agree.
third team. I hate to say that with my Pistons being the number one team in the East, but I mean, I'm just, I just have to see it for what it is. I have to be unbiased doing this, and right now, this series is showing us where we're lacking. And, you know, this is what it is.
Yeah,
Right.
I would say they're definitely the favorites in the East. Um, to me, or if not one of them. But they definitely can do it all. They definitely can win it all if they put their minds to. But it depends on matchups too. You know. Um, so we'll see what happens with that for sure. Will, what are your thoughts on the Knicks? It looks like they're struggling a little bit to beat a team that most people think they should have swept or gentlemen swept, and we're sitting at 2-2.
Good block. That was a block.
I think it's hard to win a championship when your two best players are defensively deficient. Um,
Mm-hmm.
as great as Jalen Brunson is on offense, as great as Cat is on offense. Um, Jalen Brunson gets abused in. This was a bad matchup for the Knicks because they can't hide him. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta got a big backcourt. Can't put him on McCollum.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And then he got somebody like a Dyson that's you know what I mean on him all game, so he fighting for everything. Um, I'll be honest with you. You know what I think the Knicks' biggest need is? I think they need a big guard next to Brunson that can play defense, guard two or three different positions, and sometimes run the offense so that Brunson don't have to be, you know what I mean? Like Brunson is their point guard and they leading scorer, you know what I mean, and ball dominant. And it's just hard to do that nowadays. Um, I think Atlanta was just a bad matchup for them. You know what I mean? Off rip. And I don't think they was ready for it.
Right.
You know, wouldn't surprise me if New York got hot, went crazy the next 2 games and put the series away. But it wouldn't surprise me off this series either. I don't know, but I just for all the talent that's on that team, something is just not fitting together. Like you would think that a dude like Mikal Bridges, who is just like a super high level role player, would thrive on this team, but he has a hard time finding his place. Like I don't think they max out the talent that they got. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean.
I don't think the sum of the pieces, you know what I mean, are more than what the whole is less than the whole. Like it's just for as talented as that team is, it's just something. It's something there. I think I don't think they're gonna win the championship. And I think this summer they might have to think about making, a real move or two.
Mm-hmm.
If players, and are giving up buckets down the stretch, it's kind of hard to win with that, man.
Yeah.
And it's
They
hard to get
shouldn't.
5 and 7 or 8 while the other team is constantly targeting you. It's asking a lot. So
They should have never cried Tibbs out the door. That shit coming back to bite them now.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
R&B.
And that's no disrespect or slight to Mike Brown though.
No,
I think he's a pretty good coach, but I don't think he's a better coach than Tibbs. I just don't.
I don't think he's a put you over the top coach. I don't think he's that. I don't think he's a better coach.
Well, I mean, let's really think about this, right? Like Mike Brown has been fired from quite a few teams. Like, you know what I mean?
He definitely has.
He really has. I mean, he was the Lakers coach at one point, right? He got fired from there.
He was fired
from Cleveland twice.
His best coaching job might have been Sacramento. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Team that nobody really had expectations for, and he got them to the playoffs.
Mike Brown,
with expectations.
Mike Brown is Doc Rivers without a raspy voice.
Oh, don't do him like that.
No, he really is. He really is. Think about it.
And no 3-1 lead losses. That might be a good comparison, as much as I hate to admit it.
Let's be real.
Wasn't Mike Brown the coach on the Cleveland team that lost to the Spurs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I'll say this: he at least got a team. That's what I'm saying. That team ain't had no business in the finals. I can't say Doc Rivers ever pulled one of them joints off. Like, you know what I'm saying? He kept a lot of teams competitive. I can't say he ever pulled anything like that off.
But Doc Rivers got a championship though.
Yeah.
So it's kind of I get what you're saying because it was one of those unexpected runs, but Doc completed the job.
Hey Doc, I ain't trying to be that guy, but let's not forget Doc got a championship with a super team.
He got not only a super team, but a super team where the pieces all really fit together. Like, you know what I mean?
What was it? Four Hall of Famers on that team?
Some of their bench players could have been starters on other teams in that era. People forget about players like Leon Poe and you know what I'm saying, like Tony. That team was fucking loaded. He ain't had no choice but to fucking win. If you ask me, it's more of an indictment to his resume because he underachieved with that team. He should have won more than one.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say this real quick about the Knicks real quick. Their biggest problem is Jalen Brunson. And I know y'all gonna be like, well, how's that is their biggest problem? Nepotism. His father is on the coaching staff, right?
Mm.
I don't know if they whistled or whispered in the GM's ear, but they got a whole bunch of Villanova guys over there. I love Josh Hart. Great addition. Great shooting guard next to, or small forward next to Jalen Brunson. But that's the only person I would have kept. Mikal Bridges, you gave up way too much for him. Okay. When you had DiVincenzo on the team, there was too much that they gave up for him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's constant nepotism. It's constant like fraternity type shit that's happened over there in the New York Knicks. Now, if Jalen Brunson was doing what he had to do, he would turn into a pick and roll type of point guard. Because at this point, what are we using Cat for? I mean, Cat is a perfect example of what this modern day bigs are supposed to be. But you're not utilizing them. You thinking that it's like, okay, it's my turn, it's his turn type situation, and that's what's killing the team. So I think at this point, the furthest they can go is probably the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that's the furthest they can go. The New York Knicks probably got to revamp this whole entire team, find places for their pieces to go, like OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, all these guys. They got to move those pieces. And unfortunately, I like those guys. Mikal Bridges is a really good player. He's not an excellent player, but he's definitely worthy of somebody to be on the starting five. And same applies with OG Anunoby when he's healthy. But they got to move those guys. They got to find a way to move them along because this is not working for the New York Knicks. And I think they're going to figure it out this season. I think they'll probably move the pieces and figure out how to bring in a real point guard and move Jalen Brunson to the shooting guard position.
Hell no. Jalen Brunson is a real point guard. He just happens to be the type of point guard. Yes, he is, bro. He's constantly in the top 10 or top 5 in point guard assists every year. He's just not traditional. Why every time a point guard can score, everybody want to try to label them not a point guard? It's basketball.
I'm watching the game.
His job is not just to get assists. It's hard to put the ball in the hole.
I get it. It's not about getting assists, but damn it, can you get assists? Can you get a pick and roll? Can you pick and roll, for example? That's all you got to do, because you got one of the best.
Can you get me a pick and roll big? Because my big only like to pick and pop with his faggot ass.
Well, guess what? Do that. Pick and pop. Do whatever you need to do. But at the end of the day, pass the rock. You dribbling the ball out and you're losing games because you're holding the ball.
You dribbling the ball out because you looking at a 7-foot center who want to shoot all these threes and brick them, and I got a small forward who we gave up 5 first-round picks for, and I took less money to vouch for you to come here, and you come here and you virtually a fucking no-show. Mikal Bridges is not a good
other bigs
NBA player.
It's not just about Cat.
Mikal Bridges has not been a good NBA player in 3 years.
Pick and roll. You don't like Cat's pick and pop? Then go out there and throw a lob to Robinson. He don't even do that. He forced him to become a
Mitchell Robinson needs his shot.
He's a rebound center now. He don't even pick and roll with Robinson. Let's look up the stats. How many times he pick and roll with a center? I'll wait.
Man, you tripping by saying that Jalen Brunson is not a real point guard, bro.
He's not a real point guard. He's a point guard who plays. He masquerades himself as a point guard. He's not a true point guard. Cade Cunningham's a true point guard, and he scores. And you see it. He gets everybody involved.
Cade Cunningham out here with 4 turnovers right now and had 9 in the last game.
And I'll take that versus somebody that's dribbling the ball out and they can't even get no type of
Cade
points or get the
ball out.
Who would you take, Jalen Brunson or Arcade? Let's see. Let's trap question. Who would you take?
I'll take Cade, but it's not.
Exactly.
It's not because
I rest my case.
Because I don't think Jalen Brunson is a fucking true point guard. I just think Cade is a better player.
Come on, man.
Is Steph Curry a point guard?
No, he's a shooting guard.
Yeah,
Steph Curry is a point guard.
Steph Curry is a shooting guard.
You've never heard of a score first point guard?
There's score first point guards. But what I'm saying is, okay, to answer your question, They're score first point guards, right? But then there's also point guards that gets the whole offense involved. If you ask me, Steph Curry's more of a point guard than Jalen Brunson because he gets the whole team involved. Jalen Brunson don't get the whole team involved. His efficiency is up to what, 65% as far as ball usage.
Jalen Brunson.
Let's
Brunson is a point guard.
look it up.
Jalen Brunson is a point guard. He's not a facilitator. He's not gonna make sure everybody's touching the rock every night. That's not the kind of point guard he is. He'll get assists, but he's not the kind of point guard that's making sure everybody is touching the rock every night. That's not him. Steph is a point guard, more of a facilitator than Jalen Brunson. I won't call him a facilitator, but again, a point guard is to get people good looks and open shots. And Steph does that on ball and off ball. Steph gravity creates open shots for other people too. You know what I'm saying? So again, getting open shots for people is not just having the ball in your hand and you know what I mean, getting assists either.
Like I'm looking at a couple games here where Jalen Brunson, 17 points, 10 assists, 30 points, 13 assists, 25 points, 10 assists. And
is this during the playoffs?
These were towards the end of the season.
Let's look at the playoff numbers.
28 points, 7 assists, 29 points, 7 assists, 26 points, 4 assists, 19 points, 3 assists.
Okay. So averaging about 5.4 assists, 5.5 assists a game. Okay.
But so is it his job to put the guy in position to score and make sure the guy makes the shots?
It's his job to put the guy in rhythm. Yes. He's a point guard.
But if he misses the shot, how's that his fault?
It's not his fault if they miss the shot, but damn it, can you at least pick and roll? Listen, I don't just look at the stats. I watch the game. When I watch Jalen Brunson come downhill, he's not looking for a situation where he's got the defender off of him and then he's passing the ball to the open man. He's not drawing, like I said, Steph Curry, he could draw 2 defenders, right? So if he's drawing 2 defenders, that means there's 2 people open. Jalen Brunson will try to split that defense, go to the rack, and get a bucket. That's not a point guard to me. A point guard knows when to pass the ball and knows when to score. He can score 50 million points, but can you set up the offense with your team where you're setting them up for the best shots? That's all I'm saying.
So was Stephon Marbury a point guard in your opinion?
No, he was a shooting guard.
I'm done with it.
Work.
He's a shooting guard. He's a shooting guard.
With it.
That's crazy work. Look.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's the truth.
The Knicks need to do for Jalen Brunson what Golden State did for Steph. Steph was always on the court with a secondary ball handler. Whether it was Draymond, whether it was Iguodala, whether it was Sean Livingston, the Golden State Warriors at their best, Steph never had to be the facilitator. You know what I'm saying? Again, Steph averaged like 7 assists for his career. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's beyond him. You know what I'm saying? To pass the ball and get his teammates good looks. You know what I mean? And open shots. Jalen Brunson is the end all be all for the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? I know Josh Hart, you know what I mean, get you triple doubles here and there, but Josh Hart is not a dude that every night he's going to get you 5-6 assists. You know what I'm saying? He's not that guy. They need a guy like that so that Brunson don't have to be. Look, Jalen Brunson need to be Jalen Brunson, because whatever we sit here saying about him, this is the most success that the Knicks have had in 25 years, 26 years. You know what I mean?
Getting bounced out in the first and second round?
In a long time. Say that again.
I'm saying getting bounced out in the first and second round is the most success.
They weren't making the playoffs. Like, yeah. So
when they had an all-star on their team, they made the playoffs. When they had Carmelo Anthony on the team, they made the playoffs, and they still got bounced in the first and second round.
They bounced in the first round every year. I love Melo, but he got out of the first round one time, I think, with the Knicks.
And Jalen Brunson's on his way to getting bounced by the ATL.
Didn't he make the Eastern Conference Finals?
No.
Yeah.
What they did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't they make the Eastern Conference Finals like year before last?
They made it last
Okay.
year.
Probably
Last year?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
All right. If they happy with that, cool.
I mean, they hadn't made it that far in the playoffs since 1999, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So yeah, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, it ain't like they sat there and said, "Oh, what James Dolan did," because he fucking fired Tibbs and hired Mike Brown, and according to him, they should be able to win the champ. But yeah, like getting to the Eastern Conference Finals is not like it ain't nothing to sneeze at. Shit. Only 2 teams made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. So
Mm. Mm. I'm still
Jalen Brunson is an overprocessed Isaiah Thomas. The 5'9" one.
Little one. I hope you talk about the little one.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
just had to make sure.
No. I wouldn't disrespect Isaiah Thomas like that. The real one. Not the real one.
Y'all
I'm
need
talking
not
about
even bring up that Mikal Bridges need not even bring his name up no more.
Mikal Bridges, he's sightseeing. I don't even think he played basketball anymore. He was out there jogging. He played 27 minutes and scored 1 point.
I think they're gonna try and move him this offseason.
He gotta go. But once again, like I said, gentlemen, it ties back to what I originally said. Jalen Brunson went out and asked them to go get all his Villanova guys. They went and got DiVincenzo. They went and got Josh Hart. And then they finally got Mikal Bridges. And they traded DiVincenzo. But still, he got all his guys from Villanova that he was comfortable playing ball with. Sometimes that system don't work, man.
I don't know. I'm still tripping that you said Marbury's not a point guard. I'm really trying to wrap my head around that.
Okay. And what makes you feel like he's a point guard versus a shooting guard?
Hold on. Okay,
Ball.
His cousin was more of a point guard than he was.
But Marbury
if you ask me, in
wasn't.
my opinion.
Raj, you about
Marbury.
to make me quit this show, bro. I'm about to fuck around and submit my letter of resignation. This man just welfare was a better point guard than Stephon Marbury. I don't know if I can be associating myself with that kind of thing, bro.
Marbury. Marbury was. Go ahead.
Do not necessarily.
To me, he was more of a control the tempo kind of guard. Didn't really score like that. He would pass the ball, but same thing. Dudes ain't making the shots. He can't get the assist. Like he wasn't. Huh?
You talking about Steph?
No, I was talking about Marbury.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just trying to see because he wasn't really a score first guard. So I'm trying to understand where you got what
He was a score first guard.
Man, he was giving you 20 and 8. Bro, he was giving you 20 and 8.
Man, listen.
I don't know where this whole notion came that if a point guard can score, he not a traditional point guard. I just don't understand where that notion came from.
Right. So is Luka a point guard?
Yes.
34 point a night, Luka.
But he gets the offense involved. This is what I'm saying. He's not just scoring, he's getting everybody buckets. Everyone's going out there getting buckets. That's a point guard to me. In my opinion, a point guard is somebody that can say, okay, I'm gonna help you get some points tonight. I'm gonna help you get some points tonight. Just make sure you set up in the wing. I'm set up pick and roll, and I'm gonna help you get those buckets. And they could also get buckets themselves. That's a combo guard in my eyes.
Is Shea a point guard?
Oh, yeah. He's a point guard. He's a point guard.
I think Shea is a 2 guard.
You know, Jalen Brunson averaged more assists than Shea, right?
He probably does.
Look, it's decimals. It's decimals. I ain't acting like he lapping them, but
I'm saying he probably does. But
he shoot
we
more.
watch a playoff game,
same amount of assists, but he shoot more than Jalen Brunson though. Like,
yeah. But when we watch a playoff game, I'm talking about when it really counts. Are you getting the team involved? I'm telling you, watch. I don't know. Maybe it's the New York media out here, but I watch a lot of Knicks games, and especially the playoff games when it comes up. And I'm telling you, Jalen Brunson will dribble that ball flat. He will completely take everyone out of the game. I mean, you'll see the shooters in the corners waiting for a pass. He just dribble, splitting defense, spin move, getting fouled. He's doing everything but passing the rock when it's time. A point guard, in my opinion, is somebody that's like, all right, you will at least get a touch. You might not get an assist from me, but you're at least going to touch the ball.
I don't know.
like I said, I think he's. I just think it's different kinds of point guards. You know what I'm saying? All point guards created equal. You know.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna be Jason Kidd or John Stockton or Detroit Pistons Isaiah Thomas. Even
Right.
even Russ. Even when Russ was averaging triple doubles, because it's not that I necessarily disagree with your premise. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I feel like he's a point guard, but like I don't think Russ is a run your offense point guard. Russ was, I'm trying to get to the rim every time, and if somebody open, I might drop it off to you type of point guard. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Brunson is more of a feel of the game kind of point guard. You know what I mean? Again, he done had them 12, 13 assist nights, but that's not what he gonna do every night. He kind of go where the game take him on a given night. He's not a every single night table setter kind of point guard. So that's why I say I don't disagree with your premise, but I still feel like he's a point guard.
I mean, yeah, they're point guards, but in my opinion, they're not. They're more shooting guard than point. They're okay. Let me rephrase it. They're combo guards.
I don't know.
Right now, we're splitting hairs because it's almost like saying, is that a small forward or a power forward? It's a forward. They're combo guards.
So as we're coming up on time here, there's at least, we know the Thunder's up 3-0. Spurs are up 3-1. But there's one more series I definitely wanted to give a little bit of time to, and that's the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Toronto Raptors.
Oh, man.
Series is tied at 2. Toronto's got more talent than they're given credit for. But R&B, do you think that Toronto can win this series?
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me because I don't trust Donovan Mitchell and James Harden in the playoffs, and I've been saying that for the longest. Either whatever happened in this series wouldn't surprise me. If Cleveland win, it wouldn't surprise me because they got the talent. If Toronto wins, it wouldn't surprise me because I don't trust Cleveland's talent. Because their talent has shown me nothing when it comes to playoff basketball. And that's where I'm at. It's like that's where I'm at when it comes to that series. When Cleveland came out and went up, what was it, 2-0, I think, in the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, okay, but then the minute they lost one to Toronto, I said, Then they lost another one, and James Harden had a stinker. I said, oh shit. Like, oh shit. Here we go. So we'll see how that shit play out. What they play again tomorrow, right? I think because I think the only other game for tonight should be Phoenix and OKC. Probably OKC should be wrapping this shit up tonight. So that's where I'm at on that one, though.
Raj, if Cleveland loses this series, I had read that James Harden is rumored to opt out, and Donovan Mitchell will be the Cleveland Cavaliers will look to trade him. Do you think that it's time to blow them all up and blow the whole team up and start all the way over?
Yeah, I think it's if that's the case, that they get knocked out by the Toronto Raptors, which I don't think they will, but if they do, it's time to blow that team up. I would force James Harden to opt out because I don't think he needs to play with the Cavs for the remainder of his contract. Also, I would find the best situation for Donovan Mitchell. And I will find a potential trading piece to go along with Evan Mobley, because at this point we're in rebuild. if we're getting knocked out first round by the Raptors, we're in rebuild mode. We're not in contention mode. And to be quite honest, I feel bad for Donovan Mitchell, because he never even makes it to the second round, if my memory serves me correct. He might have made it a few times, but he never made it to the conference finals.
He never made it to the second round.
He made it to the second round
from Utah. Utah made it to the second round?
Yeah,
they
I
beat
think he did make it a couple of times.
Okay. Who did they upset that year? He been to the second round. He been to the second round a couple times. He ain't been past it.
A couple times. Okay, but he never makes it to the conference finals. I know that. He never makes it there. And as talented as he is, as entertaining as he is, it's sad to see this, because you're thinking, at least I thought, James Harden was going to push him over, but nah, James Harden just old and fat. So it is what it is.
Will, do you think that Cleveland do you think Cleveland has any chance in winning this series? And if so, how far do you think they can go?
I think they can still win this series. But again, I think that was our shooting guard list. and I kind of shoehorned him in at 10, and I was saying, like, man, he got a lot of work to get up this list, because this is what he does every year, and it would surprise me if he do what he does every year again. And now he's doing James Harden shit. So you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just I don't trust James Harden past a certain time in April. You know what I'm saying? After the first that April Fool shit hit him a real certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Anything past April 1st, I can't roll the dice on him, bro. So, I think that's another team that might
that way.
Bro,
they gonna have to do a Law and Order SVU for his playoff performances.
Hey, that nigga be on milk cartons come April, bro. Have you seen them? You know what I'm saying?
It disappears.
But bro, I don't know if Cleveland need to tear it all the way down. I would probably hold on to Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley and move on from James Harden and Allen. You know, I think Harden got a player option, right?
Yeah.
Ain't about to be a free agent, but he got a player option.
Yeah.
So shit, if he pick up his player option, ain't nothing they can do about it. Shit, he might just be back at Cleveland next year getting that check. But if I was them, I would be trying to move on from him. Him and Allen, and just trying to retool around Donovan Mitchell and around Evan Mobley. I don't think Evan Mobley done really got the opportunity to step up. It's with Harden, with Mitchell, even with Garland. Like I think Mobley needs like a pass first point guard, because when Garland was healthy and balling, that's when we saw the best of Evan Mobley on the offensive end. I think he does need like a pass first kind of. Yeah, I did too. But I also kind of understood. I wouldn't have traded for James Harden, but I understood why Cleveland moved on from him, because they feel like that window is closing. You know, I don't know how much longer Donovan Mitchell gonna want to be in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? If they ain't winning, so like I said, if I was them, I wouldn't tear it all down. I would just try to retool around Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley, and I would start with a pass first point guard.
Yeah.
I think that
But y'all know I ain't got no faith in James Harden, though.
We all know what Harden brings to the table.
I said y'all know I ain't got no faith in James Harden.
And we all know Harden just is known for being arguably the biggest choke artist, at least in this era, if not all time. You know, I mean, just gotta call it what it is. Dude can't get over the hump, and it's just like at this point
he first battled in 2 Hall of Fames.
If I had to say what James Harden is the Buffalo Bills of the NBA. Not just one player. My man's the whole team.
Oh man, Brandon somewhere kicking and punching somewhere.
He is definitely the Buffalo Bills of the NBA. The whole team. The whole team. Not just one player. The whole team. The franchise as a whole is James Harden.
Well, yo, what the hell is Trevor Noah doing out there, man?
We are at our mark. And now I'm hearing myself echo.
Yes.
So, is there anything else anyone wants to cover?
That's it.
All right.
Whatever strip club LeBron and them went to after they won Game 3, they need to leave that bitch the fuck alone. everybody was ass last night.
Nah, they did that so they get back to LA.
That's my last sentiment for the day.
Exactly. Well, all right, guys. Enjoy the playoffs. Enjoy the week. Everyone, stay positive. Stay healthy. We'll be back next week. We gonna do Monday or Sunday?
Sunday, cool.
Sunday.
Hey, everybody write it down. Because I swear to God, if we come up with a day and Raj texts us Wednesday or Thursday talking about what day are we going live, I'm going to lose it.
Hey, it changed like the wind, so you never know.
All right, so we'll do Sunday.
Sunday it is.
All right, guys. Everyone be safe. Be good. And we'll see you Sunday.
Peace.
All right, fellas.